Hey, welcome to another Businessology lesson. And today we're going to be talking about agency benchmarks and why your agency does need benchmarks. But let me just talk about generally why we do it. It's because we have comparisons basically for our financial data. Now, we often tell agency entrepreneurs, don't compare yourself to another agency. So we're not talking about comparing yourself in a way that you think you're not doing what you should, but comparisons of financial data are real important, like from period to period. Like this month compared to the same month last year is a really important comparison. So what a comparison does is it benchmarks you up against something else. And when you have two things to compare, it produces insights. And insights are basically aha moments that you couldn't have had you not made the comparison. So that's why we always show a set of financials bumped up against something else. And a lot of times we bump it up against that same agency's financials a year ago, or this quarter to last quarter, or this month to year to date. Any kind of bumping things up against each other always produces more insight. So you're always looking at things together. Now, where agency benchmarks come in, we've developed benchmarks that reflect what we think this industry, this agency industry should be showing as a guide. So now we're not only comparing the agency's financials to their own financials in another period, we're comparing their financials to generalized full agency industry financials. And that basically shows them, am I in line with what this professional, which is our firm, what we say probably you should be tracking in a set of financials. And so benchmarks do produce more knowledge, more insights. It helps you understand where you're over what you should be, where you're under, because a lot of times people don't spend enough in some areas. And then sometimes they spend too much in other areas on their profit and loss statement. Some other metrics to track for agencies are more specifically labor metrics. So labor is the biggest expense on a service-based company's P&L. So what they spend more than anything is on team members. And so that's a specific metric you really have to track. And so we use some labor metrics that help us know, are we spending too much? Like we have salary cap metrics, which are basically saying, here's the total salary you can spend, the total labor you can spend on your P&L if you want to achieve a certain profit level. And so that number starts to tell people, are you spending over your salary cap or under your salary cap, right? Because if you're spending under your salary cap and this metric told you that, it helps you know I can probably invest in more team to produce more revenue. That's what it starts to help you do. And you want to make sure you're doing this on a regular basis. So metrics are helpful. And we've been talking about comparisons, but you want to do it with a lot of consistency too. You want to track these every month, every quarter, every year. The constant tracking and comparison at the same intervals starts to really teach you to see how your company's going up and down in these various different types of metrics. So please start tracking metrics, the comparisons of industry metrics. Do it on a consistent basis, and you're going to learn so much more about your operations and what your profit and loss statement is saying to you.